Welcome back to the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast featuring members of the Win with Dice team. I'm Calvin, and I'm joined here by Ramon.
Hey guys, if this is your first time listening to the Win with Dice podcast, this is a podcast all about tabletop RPGs, running them, playing them. Calvin and I play in a bunch of games and run a bunch of games, and we just like to talk about them so you guys can learn what it's like to be on the other side of the GM screen.
Exactly.
We take a casual approach to GMing, so, we're just here to talk about our games, have some fun, and get some laughs. Yeah. And hopefully you guys learn a thing or two and jump in to the other side of the screen.
Yeah. Or at least have like an entertaining story and something that's fun to listen to or have as background noise for a bit.
Yeah, you could also just steal our ideas and tell all your friends that it's yours. That's fine with me. I'm never going to meet those people.
I mean, that's what we do anyway, so.
And I'll do the same to you.
Exactly. Before we get the ball rolling, we did have a giveaway that started last week, where the task was just to leave a comment, and we'll pick a random person and hand along a copy of Pierce the Heavens, the Lancer module we were talking about last week. We do have a few copies of those that we can give away. So, first up, we're going to draw for that, and then we will have another draw just in the same comments of this video. And maybe we'll change it up a bit. We'll see by the end. But, out of the people who left a comment on the last video, as we pick a random name, this site has a whole, spinning wheel thing. It's very flashy.
Are we going to show them this, or is this
No, I'm just letting people know.
I can't see it.
It took so long. Mitchell...
I'm experiencing what the audience is.
Indeed. Mitchell McPherson.
Mitchell.
Long-time commenter, actually. So this is very serendipitous. Yeah, we'll reach out, and I'll reply to you on the original comment. And yeah, we'll reach out to you, send it by email or whatever you're most comfortable with. But congrats. Thanks for dropping a comment. Thanks for watching the show, or listening to the show, rather. I'm sure no one's sitting there watching the background scroll this entire time. But yeah, we'll send along a copy of Pierce the Heavens over to you, and hopefully you get a lot of good use out of it. It's a really interesting module with a really cool map, so hopefully you like it.
Yeah, thanks, Mitchell. Thanks for all the comments too. Your comments are always welcome on our videos. They're very nice and very in depth, so appreciate it.
And if you didn't get it this week, other entrants, feel free to try again. Try again for next week. I mean, but let's roll into the actual show, as well as I guess the most important part of the show, the Win with Dice Weekly GM Tip of the Week.
I like how we just because we input this part, we're like, what do we do now? Yes, the Win with Dice Weekly GM Tip of the Week, brought to you by Ramon. Hey guys. Okay, so real simple GM tip of the week. If you're ever, at loss of what to do next in your campaign, or you're, having that, writer's block as we do as GMs time to time, a good way to kind of get over that is to actually go experience some new content. That could be in the form of movies, that could be in the form of books. You could even go on a walk or go visit a part of your city that you haven't visited before. Even just looking at some artwork and taking a sketchbook and start sketching some stuff, ideas will just start propagating out of your mind. So that's I find that to be actually one of the best ways for, people to get the juices going again. As well as if you just happen to jump into another player's game, you can get revitalized pretty fast, actually getting the hype into making your own story the way you want to. So yeah, that's my quickly, really short GM tip of the week. Calvin, you got any comments on that?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a very useful thing. Whatever you watch, whatever you want to consume, whatever media it is, whatever story it is, you can change the genre, you can change the setting, you can take inspiration of the characters and anything from it and put that into whatever game you happen to be running. I think, once you start remixing ideas, that's when you'll come up with something original that maybe your players haven't seen yet, or just the use of a trope or a character that hasn't been done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, I just watched Cyberpunk, Edge Runners, and now I'm like, corpos are bad. I want to have a whole villain thing for how corpos are scheming and this. I don't know if I want to run like Cyberpunk 20. I actually don't know what the tabletop RPG is actually called, but I don't know if I want to actually run the game itself, or maybe I want to do Lancer. version of that cyberpunk story set in a metropolis, because that would be kind of cool. But we'll see. We'll see if that turns into anything, or maybe it'll just be in my GM notes for later. But definitely something I've experienced. So there you go, folks. There's your weekly GM tip of the week. Yeah.
That could definitely fit with Lancer. Speaking of, so this week, it's been a while since we did like a world building, adventure building type of episode. So we thought we'd do one this week using some tools that are provided in the Lancer books. Specifically the world building tool in the Lancer Core book on page 274. And if we have time this episode, there's also the map forge in the Karrakin Baronies book on page 124.
So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to use these tools because like I'm a big sucker for rollable tables.
Oh yes, we do love a table. So the plan as it is right now is I guess we'll just build a world with the Lancer Core book style, which is more like planetary scale. And then with the Karrakin Baronies book, we'll make like a city. It does have a bit more intensive process. But right now, we're just going to make a list of things, and we might just drop it in the comments or the description of the video below if you want to check it out. And how about this? If you want to enter for another chance to win a copy of Pierce the Heavens, just drop some interesting world-building thing that maybe you've done in a game or that a GM has done in a game that you've been in, or something you think we should add to whatever we end up building here.
Yeah, definitely love everyone's ideas. I think I always have the impression that people are just way smarter than me and they have way better ideas. So please, you want to add it in? That'd be kind of fun to have like a whole, people who like the comment section just kind of build out this little section of the world in Lancer, a little bit more. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, who knows?
We all do it together.
Might show up on a stream game or something. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. No promises, but would be nice.
So let's start off with iterative world building and world types. So I was looking at the world types table that they have on page 274, and like the majority of them are inhospitable or barren.
Yeah, I know. I love it. It's like actually the world, like the universe kind of sucks right off the bat. It's just a little bit more like how it would actually be if you just went out into the galaxy and been like, all these places are just big rocks. Like,
and yeah, exactly. And while that's true, I do want to have a city on it. So, I was going to pick 6 of these, basically numbers 6 to 10, and then 18, which is an ocean world, and 6 to 10 are all like temperate.
Well, we could have like a world. I mean, I think we should just go wild, man, because
just take a chance, see what happens.
That's half the fun of that's the half of fun of sci-fi. It's like making the impossible possible, right? Like, I maybe we'll just be lucky because I am looking at it and like half of them are barren, like a quarter of them are barren, half of them are inhospitable. One of them is just like an ocean. It's like,
all right, I like this idea. Let's take a chance, roll the dice, as they say. Do you want to roll the first D20, or should I?
Sure. Yeah. Let me just get a D20.
Oh, you're rolling a physical one? I just have a tab open.
I'm just gonna roll. Roll. All right, 2. Shit. That's one of the barren ones.
A barren world with a thin atmosphere and a distant sun. A cold, dead place where a lonely wind blows, never-ending across flat plains of dark ice and stone.
Oh man, it just sounds like Batman lives here.
It does sound extremely inhospitable.
The darkness is inside of me. I killed my parent.
Oh no!
That was like a Harley Quinn episode.
All right, well, defining world feature. I guess I'll take a chance on this one. So this is just something that stands out in your world space. And I guess you could have as many of these as you want, but for the purpose of this, I'm just going to roll once. And I'm going to get a big ol' 11. So this world is marked by a series of massive mountains, which sort of conflicts with the original concept of flat plains. But I guess there could be a series of mountains that are just like in one particular area and stand out with these sheer peaks that rise kilometers into the sky. So that probably helps shield people from these these cold winds.
Well, yeah, because you could dig into the mountain, right? So they protect yourself from the wind.
Yeah, they could be underground. Okay.
Yeah.
We're world building.
Yeah, this makes sense.
As much as anything else. Okay, defining anthropocentric features. So, like settlements, outposts, things that people have made. And Ramon, why don't you take a roll at that?
Let's do this up. Boom. 8. What we got?
With an 8, there is an outpost here. An outpost or a checkpoint, like a forward post. So this world hosts a small Union garrison, likely made up of auxiliaries who report to a remote Union officer. Their duty is to scout, stand watch, and await further orders. So that's probably, maybe this isn't like on the way to something. Most of their time is spent exercising, cleaning, maintaining gear, and waiting for something to happen. So there's like this outpost on this barren world.
Just poor people.
The most like, boring posting ever.
Until it's not. And then you have an adventure. Everything's every what did I catch this line from? It's like I don't remember like where it came from. I think I was watching something, but it's like everything is it was Mass Effect. Duh. It was like I was playing Mass Effect the trilogy or whatever and going through like the comic book for Mass Effect 1 to 2. Mm-hmm. And or Legendary Edition, sorry. And it was like everything's routine until it's not. Like, like damn, Shepard,
that is
not
true.
Bitter at all.
That is a literally true statement.
Yeah, so. So yeah, that's already. I'm already excited about how this is going. Like,
I mean, hey, that's an entrance for a player character group. Like,
sure.
you could be those Union officers.
Just milling about in the base until catastrophe happens, and then you have to like, strap in and go deal with it.
Exactly. So let's add on some environments. Hopefully we get something that'll work with the thin atmosphere that we have already. But I'm gonna take a roll. I'm gonna get 13. A molten world. Okay. How?
Sorry.
Oh, I guess those mountains could be volcanoes.
Like, it has one extremely big volcano.
Yes, as parts of this world's crust jut towards the surface in showers and pools of liquid rock. When characters,
it's like a fire and ice kind of thing. That's what it's gonna be like.
Exactly, and then it just describes like damage people could take from molten worlds. Okay, so this is a barren world with a thin atmosphere and a distant sun, but there's a big mountain and some volcanoes within there. So I guess maybe if there's like an extreme heat spot and it's mostly cold,
or maybe it's internal, like because everyone has to live inside of the mountain, they have to dig down deep. So everyone lives underground, so they have to like deal with moltenness, I guess, maybe.
Oh, but the thermal heat and energy is what keeps them sustained.
Yeah, it's from this one mountain peak, because like that's where it's coming. Actually, to be fair, in like real life, if a world is active, it can't have a thin atmosphere because that shit's just spewing out, right? But
right.
This is Lancer, so this is fake real. So if you all those astronomy dudes, like astronomy majors, are to being like, this is impossible. Yeah, you're right.
You're completely right.
You're completely right.
Well, that is all the tables that are in the core book, but we could hop over to the Karrakin Baronies book and see what's in there. Or should we...
in this super cold but yet super hot environment.
Now I'm wondering if we should make a new planet that might actually be hospitable. Because this one does not seem like a place where you don't want to stay for an extended period of time.
Well, yeah, that's where there's only a forward base here. Well,
we could make either... I mean, so the map forge, it has different scales. So there's like a urban city, there's regional, like a country or a planet, and then there's systems, which are like planetary star systems.
Okay, well, maybe we'll just generate like a star system for this silly one planet to be in, and then we'll put a city on another planet, because that might be something kind of cool. I'm already feeling like, this base here is important because, like, out of like the entire planets, right? It's like the one active volcano that's like able to sustain life enough to that they put a forward base here. Like, that could be something significant, as well as like this planet may be at the far end of like the solar system because, like, it's very dimly lit, right?
Yeah.
So like its atmosphere is very distant from the sun. It's a cold, dead place except for this one mountain range that's still like going, as well as like, it could be very significant. Maybe it has like early warning detection systems of like stuff because it's very far away from like the planets, right? Like, who knows? Maybe it was like a part of like a pushing laser system where, like, for space travel, and if someone wants to fuck that up, they could just come here and blow up this one place. I just think it's, or rogue NHPs and like general Lancer nonsense could happen.
Could be any number. It could be like it could be a rogue NHP on maybe some sort of terraforming device that's gone. Oh, I mean, I kind of already did that for my stream game, so I plan on repeating myself, but still.
Every game, Calvin's like, there's rogue terraforming machines everywhere.
They just seem so ridiculous and flimsy to me. So, the method of the map forge, instead of rolling a die, you actually just flip a card. So it does describe ways that you can lay the cards out in a grid to actually make out your map, but instead we're just going to do this as a list. And yeah, I don't know if you have any cards near you, Ramahan, but I did find a website where you can draw random cards from, so...
Oh, okay, well, maybe we'll just draw random cards and then assign them. Is there like a grid that we could put stuff in?
Not one that I can show to people right now. Maybe I'll draw one as I'm editing this. It might be too much work. We'll see.
Okay.
Alright. So, let's go with... So we have to choose a number of significant locations. That's the number of cards we're going to draw. I'm thinking maybe 7 or 9 is a good number.
7 or 9? Damn, man. Alright, let's do it.
Well, I mean, it's
we'll
the number. It's the number of planets, right? So, yeah, maybe 7, and then we'll see where we end up.
All right.
Or we could just aim for 5 and see how far that goes.
Okay.
So yeah, let's create a bunch of worlds for the system, and then maybe we'll throw a city in there and just have a very short episode.
Yeah, maybe we can put this random barren mountain planet in one of the things that we draw. Just be like, here, this is where some action is happening.
Yeah.
That could translate out,
If we draw something that matches, we'll put it there. If not, then it's just guaranteed to be in there way at the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got the 10 of spades here. So starting off, there's an Icy World.
Oh, done. Found it. All right. Icy World that's barren, atmosphere cold and thin, very far away from our sun. Marked with a series of massive mountains that also is on fire. Cool.
Perfect. So we got that. Let's draw another one. The 2 of spades. That ends up with a cloud world.
A world made out of clouds? Or a cloudy world?
It could be cloud. It's very vague. It could be cloudy. It could be world with like locations in the clouds. It could be just like a gas giant. It does imply that it's meant to be populated. So it could be another thing where maybe the reason there's a post here is that they want to study this world, get the resources from these clouds, whatever vapor is up there, whatever thing has been evaporated. Maybe that's something significant.
Okay. Cloud City. All right.
Could just also be Cloud City. Ooh, Cloud City could be fun. I want to come back to that one.
All right. Where's Lando? He's a bad
Speaking
guy.
of Lando, 2 of Hearts.
2 of Hearts.
An inhabited moon.
Oh, cool.
Maybe that's rotating around the cloud world.
Yeah, that would make sense to me because, gas giants are kind of ginormous.
Yeah, so there might only be some like sparing places within the cloud world, but the inhabited moon might have more citizens or something like that, depending on how inhabited it's going to be. The Jack of Spades. A lot of spades today. The Jack of Spades is an orbital city. Interesting. So I think this is more like a city-sized space station orbiting a planet.
Makes sense.
Could be around this cloud world also.
Actually, maybe all this stuff could be around in the same cloud world, because Jupiter has like 1 billion moons, so maybe all these are actually just stuff that like bodies like moons that are around.
Oh, even the Icy World is it's just like locked in rotation with this the gas giant.
Yeah, like it's like actually like a moon of the gas giant. Like we could have like a whole, because like how the scale of like an actual gas giant is compared to like where we live now, like the Earth, it's like tremendous. So yeah, maybe instead of the setting being like a whole system, it's actually all around this gas giant, which would be actually pretty interesting. That's like more like local than like planetary, which means like distances are actually better because like things maybe instead of taking days could take hours.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Okay. Well, let's draw one more and see where we end up. Another spade with the Ace of Spades. Oh, perfect. Exactly what we need. A blink gate.
Oh, sick. That's exactly what we need. To make this legit. Awesome.
So we've got our gas giant, and we've got several things orbiting it. Some are probably too small to be used for any sort of settlement or outpost or city or anything like that. But there are a handful of objects that are large enough to contain livable, semi-livable space. One inhabited moon, one probably more populated orbital city, which would be close to this blink gate, and one icy world, which is largely this flattened space, save for these gigantic mountains and volcano. So yeah, I think we've got a pretty interesting setting here with this gas giant and several things orbiting it. I do kind of want to put something in this orbital city.
All right, then let's do that. Let's go and use the city portion, I guess, of this.
Cool.
Yeah, because like maybe it could even be like it doesn't have to be like a Jupiter. Maybe it could be like a Saturn with a bunch of rings. That'd be kind of nuts.
Oh, and the locations are like in the rings. Oh, you could go like up ring and down ring to go somewhere else. They'd probably have terms like that.
Yeah, and it's like which and it's like they're like each of the things are like numbered, right? So you can even have like I can even imagine the map where it'd be like the big Jupiter thing, but then like the way that it's positioned is like in the orbits of like what it is, and like you could even do the distance between them and stuff like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, so like, are you saying like they'll also measure like how far they are from the gas giant itself and use that as part of a unit of measurement, and then like the rotation you have to go around to get to something else?
Yeah, like maybe it could even be like, because like you could be in like in ring 1, ring 2, ring 3 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like you could even have like your distances of like a map that way. So like if your players are like, oh, we gotta go to like the blink gate or whatever, then it's like, oh yeah, that's like ring 9, the furthest ring, because it's like at the edge of the system, so you don't blink into the planet or something. I don't really know how blink gates work.
However the narrative needs them to work.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, I like this setting. Man, we should come up with some NPCs or some sort of plot thing or something for this. But
yeah,
I
Gary's here.
There's a Gary, of course.
It's Gary here.
Just gonna in my notes, Gary ?
Oh wait, is it Gary or Jerry? I forget.
Oh,
Which
it's
one
no.
it is
Oh, you
from.
mean for the other? Yeah, it's Jerry from
Jerry
from Vex's Adventure.
My bad,
in
Vex.
Okay, I thought you just meant like a random guy named Gary, and I was like, sure, bet,
Gary,
let's go.
Gary's also there. Gary should be Jerry's like arch nemesis, where they try and out Jerry each other all the time. That's
evil Jerry.
Yeah, he just has a goatee.
Okay, well, we have Jerry and evil Jerry. Let's fill out this orbital city, which I think is a fascinating concept because, at least from my understanding of it, it's probably like a space station sort of thing.
It could be like a O'Neill cylinder if you want to, because then it could be like where the majority of the population is, because it turns out all the planets kind of suck.
It could be that. Oh, that kind of reminds me of like the Mass Effect thing. Okay.
Yeah, where it's like, I mean, it's basically just a rotating drum out in space that they put a bunch of dirt inside.
Well, that's a cool shape, so let's go with it.
Okay, cool.
So like before, let's just go for, I guess, 5 key locations in this Orbital City.
Okay. All
right. Time to draw a card. 2 of diamonds.
Ooh, diamonds. Diamonds hit 2 diamonds. A public building.
A library or public records.
Oh, sorry. Whoops, my bad. I knew that 3. That was number 3. Library or public records. Why the hell would a have like a library or public records? Maybe it's maybe it was a science outpost, but now since it's been the whole point of everyone being here is to do science. It's a science place.
Ooh, Science City orbiting this planet. Yeah. That's actually super cool. The library is just full of like their old data on their old experiments and machines and things like that.
Yeah, it could be that. Or maybe it's like a part of like, maybe it could be linked to some sort of like SSC campus or something like that, or like some information kind of like maybe we won't bring in the corporate people yet, but yeah, I like the idea of just like, the main, like one of the reasons why this whole thing started was because a scientist needs to do science things here, because that's like kind of how shit starts, I guess, in space.
Kind of. Like, this could have been a place that's, like, off the grid where they can perform certain experimentation while also they have the resources of the gas giant and the volcanic Icy World.
Yeah. But also they put a blink gate here, so now it's on the books.
Yep. I mean, the game...
Unless you go to the secret library.
Oh, could be a secret library. The game could be taking place, like, during that whole transition. And yeah, there could be a secret library.
A double secret library. Yes, all the wizards are cleaning in their pants. They're like, whoa, a secret library?
I mean, this very much could be that sort of fantasy adventure where you have to find the secret knowledge hidden in the library, but the key is in a volcano.
Ooh. Okay, cool. So we got a library with a bunch of public records, so that's pretty good.
Yes, that's 1. 2 is the 7 of spades.
7 of spades. Lots of spades. An open air market.
How would that work in a science city? I mean, so maybe
more...
more...
It doesn't have to always just be science. Like, a place could originate and then change into something else as, like, time progresses, but as, like, more people come. I mean, the open air market might just be, like, not significant, but like it's like in like a location, because if you think of like an O'Neill cylinder, right? Mm-hmm. It's like there you can like there's verticality to it, but like there's a gradual like curvature of it.
Yeah.
So maybe there's like a single strip, like a ribbon in the O'Neill cylinder that goes all the way around. That's just an open air market. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, like, the entire thing?
Yeah, not the entire thing, but just like one
a big part of it.
Ribbon, like one ribbon, right? Like one like nut of it. I don't explain like it's like a ring, but it's just like I'm thinking about like I think it's the cover of, is it a field guide to the Long Rim field guide expansion. There's the cover image where there's just like a bunch of buildings that kind of stretch out and it's like curved. It looks like it's like a part of a ring. I'm thinking something like that. That would be kind of cool, where it's like this, but it's like inside of like an O'Neill, so it's like a big cylinder. There's like houses and stuff, but like there's like this open air market that like just goes, and it's just one straight continuous circle that goes all the way the whole around the cylinder.
Oh, that goes all the way. Okay. Yeah. I can see what you're.
So it's
thinking
like a ring.
Now.
It's like a ring in a cylinder.
I was thinking in the wrong direction, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because instead of it being like a rectangle, like having a lot of like surface area, it's actually like really compact, and like maybe we could call it something like the alley, where it's just like one
long alley.
Yeah, one long alley.
That'd be
just
pretty
like
sweet, actually.
People selling shit.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like close to the ports or whatever that equates to in this city. And it's just either where people settled and then they started selling their wares, or where like new travelers come in and if they need to buy something, it's right there by wherever they've landed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe it's like right next to the docks where it's just like, as soon as you get off offloading shit, it's like you can also just buy stuff and it's where new people show up. That might be why it's significant.
Yeah, and why it's so large.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Shit, maybe this will actually end up being inside of like a campaign in the future. I'm like, yeah, this is vibing. I'm vibing right now. This is a good table.
Right?
I was like, open air market in space? Yes.
Not too open because it's in space, but
yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool science fiction-y because like maybe it's like so it's at the one end of the cylinder, so like it has more access to like seeing actual raw space. Although if it's an O'Neill cylinder, it would be very hard to actually look out of the window because shit's spinning. But
yeah, it would have
we'll
to
talk
be
about.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure that out later. Like, who cares?
Yes, that's fine. We haven't even named all this stuff yet. All right,
Yeah.
I drew another card.
Okay.
This time, the 5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds. What we got here?
So that would be a sports stadium.
Sports. Ooh. Maybe the sports stadium is actually, because I still like this O'Neill cylinder idea, because the way that gravity works is that the further you are away from the point of like, or like gravity, like the actual rotation, how it works. So like the further you are away from the center, the more gravity you actually experience because of the way it works. So like maybe there's a sports stadium closer to the actual middle, like in the center of rotation. So there's like less gravity there. So it's like not 0G, but like maybe they could be like close to 0G sports like inside. Where it's like breathable atmosphere and stuff like that.
Yeah, like my default thinking for a sports stadium in Lancer is like a mech combat arena, but a lower gravity one.
Go straight to the metal violence, please. Not just like, we're going to play soccer. But live ammunition.
I mean, it could just basically be like...
Could be esports. Maybe it's just like a really cool gaming scene.
Oh, it could be like, what's that car soccer game?
Oh,
Rocket League.
Yeah, Rocket League. Maybe it is
like
just
Rocket League, but in mechs and low gravity.
Oh, like yes, and their balls are just like actually just giant balls, and they're playing soccer.
Yeah, like
that
giant
would be
magnet
fun.
spheres or something that you clamp onto, and you're trying to throw them into like, I don't know, hoops.
Yeah, it's just basketball, but better. Like that's
But with mechs and low gravity.
It's called Maximum Ball. That's what it's called.
Ooh, perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, should we explain what an O'Neill cylinder is for people who didn't also just Google it?
Yeah, true.
Like just now.
So yeah, also an O'Neill cylinder is like basically a very large cylindrical like space station that like gets their gravity from centrifugal rotation. So like it's like spinning, right? So that's how you get your gravity, but it's very big and so like the actual speed at which you rotate isn't so bad to get the equivalent gravity of Earth. Essentially, it's just like a space habitat, and usually there's like some sort of like power simulating sunlight in the center of it, and that's how you get your stuff to work. And you just pile some dirt inside and just have yourself a little planet on the inside.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
It's a little like, I mean, not exactly, but just a point of reference that people might know. The Citadel in Mass Effect, not the exact same, but that just as a reference of the concept.
I think the Presidium actually, if you go and look at it from Mass Effect, does have a bit of like, you see like the rise in the horizon, like it curves up, like you're on the inside of like a wheel. That's how it would actually look in a Nielsen, because you just have everything going forward in your vision will start gradually raising as the drum itself kind of curves up, and it just is one continuous thing looping back around. So
oh, it's like a wide halo.
Yes, it's almost like the Halo people are like, like it's like a wide halo.
Just extrude along one edge.
It's a more big sense halo. Ring rolls don't make any sense. They don't math out very well. But if you could make a ring roll, I guess you're the forerunners. Good job. I don't know how a random space parasite was able to destroy you because you're able to make giant ring worlds. But hey, I wasn't them. I wasn't there.
Everybody, you can't work when you get the sniffles, including the flood. So
it's true. To be fair, we are coming off of the badness. So like,
yeah, you catch a cold and then you can't build your giant space station. That cold being a living fungus from space.
Yeah.
All right, let's add a couple more places to whatever this place ends up being named. I have no idea.
Maybe you guys should just fight the flood. I'm sure someone's already done that.
What,
Shaka
Lancer
probably
Flood
already
Adventure?
done that. I'm pretty sure Shaka already did that. Damn it.
Beat us again. All right, let's see what we've got here next. 7 of diamonds. Which turns out to be an orbital elevator. How?
An orbital elevator? Tethered to... Well, we can... that's just for, like, regular places. But it's supposed to be, like, how do you attach, like, get Well, to be fair, an O'Neill cylinder doesn't have to be floating out in space by itself. It could actually be tethered to a planet if you want, like a planetoid or something like that. Maybe it could be tethered to our big, tall, mountain, rocky planet that's simultaneously hot and cold at the same time.
Oh, what can the elevator... Okay, this is probably not scientifically anything, but what if the
It's
elevator...
nothing at all.
What if that was what transferred thermal energy up to this this cylinder? That was part of how they got like heat and power and things like that.
Yeah, that would be good. You can, because like you can tether something. Like that's the whole idea with space elevators, right? It's like there needs to be like a counterbalance at the other end of whatever that's rotating, right, to kind of balance it out. So then like the actual mega structure is taut. Either you're doing active support by like doing crazy engineering to like keep that thing up with power, or you have like another object at the other end that's trying to escape but it can't because the tether's there, so it's taut. Yeah, it's like weird when you get to like big stuff like that, but yeah, think of it like the planet's the stick, and there's like a ball at the other end of the string, and so the ball is a space station, and you whip that shit around. The orbital elevator is actually just a string because it's being held up by centrifugal force.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously, obviously like the planet's gonna have to, the weight differential is gonna have to be there, but it could still orbit like the smaller world. Well, what did you just come up with?
Well, sorry.
You said and I was like,
maybe it doesn't need to be like an O'Neill cylinder, because then if there's like a counterbalance on it, like maybe the space station itself is like, so like it would be like your boots, it would be like you're standing on the roof essentially. So it's like the opposite way of the other centrifugal force, because after a while, like because you're being flung away, you would be able to just stand on the other, like the other end of it. I don't explain it. I should just draw a picture. Just send it to you. But whatever. The space station works. Let's just say that.
The physics and gravity are weird. We'll figure out the shape of this. But yeah, I kind of like the idea of like, that's where they draw power from. That could be why there's an outpost there, because like if something happens to this planet, it could affect the entire station, because that's like their main source of heat and power. If that goes out, then all they have is what they have stored or what they can process for a short period of time.
Yeah, maybe the base itself is actually like they're also like mining the planet or whatever they have their. That's why like the Union garrison is stationed down below, because like everybody else is up there. They don't need Union people there like so much, but there's like a station down there to make sure that the actual anchor point of it is fine. Like if someone comes and messes with it, it's like they're there to respond to it. That might be something.
Yeah, because if you mess with that, like the whole thing is blown, and that place has like a very important secret library.
Yeah, of course. Back to the secret library. Okay, so we have a space station with an open-air cool market that also is into zero gravity maximum ball sports that is attached by an orbital elevator tether to this rocky, barren, hot and cold planet with this mountain that reaches into the I would say like it's like kilometers, into the atmosphere. Like it's a very thin atmosphere to begin with, so this thing is basically reaching to space.
Yeah.
I think it's Space Mountain. Which actually kind of makes sense because that's where you probably want to anchor your orbital thing.
Yeah, the highest
anyway.
point.
Yeah. So
we do have one more card to draw for the city.
Shit. All right.
If you want to stick to 5 like we did for the planets.
Yeah. All right. Might as well.
The Ace of Clubs.
Oh shit! An ace of clubs. That's always something crazy. Oh, a construction yard.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Which they would probably need. If they're going to have mechs smashing into each other for sports, then I'm sure they're able to produce things at a high enough quantity that they're able to just do that as well.
Ooh, maybe the construction yard is actually in the middle of the tether.
Oh, like there's something partway through the tether?
Yeah, like instead of it being like constructed, or maybe it could be like on the other side, because like manufacturing in lower gravity is actually better because you don't have to deal with gravity. Although there is some stuff that's like harder to do, but maybe construction yard could be like, the raw materials from the planet itself that they're using. That could be like something there, because that'll be something interesting to be useful. Or the construction yard could just be on in the space station itself, right? Like you'd have one end be the planet, the other end is the space station. Either in between the planet could be the construction yard, or maybe on the space station there's a construction yard. But that whole thing, that'd be kind of cool because yeah.
I kind of like the idea of it being on the place because, then it's easier to transport things out of it. And you can put it in the lower gravity neighborhood where the sports stadium is. Just because I guess that would make it easier to process things because it's going to take less power to lift and move them around as you would need to do when you're constructing stuff. Also, not gonna lie, once I saw construction yard, I was like, I kind of want to use... Part of me wants to use this for where my character in our Lancer stream came from now.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Where because she's a streamer, right? She had to be recruited somehow and start her stream of mech battling. So maybe she was a, Well,
because the character I had, whose name escapes me at the moment, but I'll put up a picture of her and the rest of the crew. She was originally I was going for like that sort of grimy mechanic sort of look. And then she got the opportunity to be a streamer. She cleaned herself up. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe this is where she grew up, this construction yard. That's a whole other thing, though.
Yeah, maybe the entire, maybe the entire idea would be, you get all of the raw materials from the planet itself. Because that's why it's, there's all this, volcanic activity in the core of this, although I don't know. Well, I did this. I don't know why you put a space tower on top of shifting magma, because whatever. Anyway,
because sci-fi.
Yeah, sci-fi. Because why would you?
It's the phi part.
Yeah, it's literally the least stable part of a planet is its volcano. It's the loosest bit, right? So it's why would you put something that needs to be stable there? Anyway, but cool. We did it. It looks cool, right? So you have this fucking giant ass mountain that we built on that extends into space, and as the raw materials are being pumped up, I guess, this giant space tower, it actually gets turned into raw materials as it travels up, and then on its way gets fabricated more and more and more into more and more specific mechanical parts until it gets to the end
Oh.
of the space station, and that's how the space station is actually being grown. Like, it's literally being expanded chunk by chunk by this whole process till it's like, maybe it's not 100%. It's never going to be 100% complete. It'll always be adding more and more little sections here and there and bulking it out. And that's how it's actual, I guess, solid state before the campaign starts. Is like this thing is like being worked on right now.
I'm kind of picturing, I feel like I don't know if this is like wild or anything, but maybe that's just how it was working when people showed up. That like back whenever this thing was built, back when that original secret library was built, this thing is just going through an automated process of drawing materials from this planet and processing them with, I don't know, let's say nanotechnology to continue constructing this station.
Yeah, and maybe like the secret library is or like it would be a public library, but the second secret library is actually like the data of like how this space station actually works, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like everything is automated, but nobody knows how it actually works or where all the information's stored or anything like that. So maybe like the whole point is like that's the station there is to figure out like you go deeper into the station or something. That might be a little bit too
Mass Effect.
Yeah, it's a little bit too Mass Effect, a little bit too fine. Now we're just like playing
We're
Mass
just making
Effect.
Mass Effect again.
Shit's always routine until it's not. Then robots come and be like, we're just gonna eat you now, thanks.
But it could be that, like, as this place has expanded to the point that they finally got a blink gate, Union looks at it and is like, wait, who actually did this? Why is this here? Is this a problem? And that's why
cults are involved. Cults are involved.
Probably.
Jerry has to step up.
And yeah, and that's why they have people on the planet itself, like, because it must have, I mean, the process probably started there. That could be why they have a post there, both to protect the station and to figure out, like, how this thing was originally constructed.
Yeah, like, UBI is like, don't tell the regular dudes. But maybe you were like regular dudes and UBI was actually doing some work here. But your higher ups were like, don't worry about those guys. They're just here for maintenance. But they were actually super secret science spies.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh shit, we gotta go deep into like the volcano to fight a volcano NHP because apparently that's how it works. It's like always NHPs.
Yes, and there's some broken NHP in the middle of it, and that's what's been running the thing the whole time.
It happens to be like a weird sphere. It's like angry. It's an angry weird sphere.
Oh, Mass Effect with spears, perfect. I want to add one more place to the city. I just want to see what we can toss in here.
Oh my god, I feel like it got really weird. All of a sudden, it was like a real place, and then all of a sudden it was darkness, the Undercity.
Yeah, I want to add one more place, and I think that's going to be... This went surprisingly longer than I thought it would. But yeah, I just want to add one thing to sort of round it out. We'll see what we end up with. Okay, one more card. Just because I'm also having a ton of fun doing this as well. 4 of diamonds.
No way. A restaurant?
A notable restaurant. Okay, I'm glad I did that. Okay, what in the world, or in this world, do they...
It must be a ramen shop. Like, that's in the open air alley.
Yes.
It must just be the most famous ramen shop.
It would have to be. Definitely. There's this place you go to. I don't even know what the name of the person. It's one of those things that's like famous within a city. Like you go to a city and people are like, oh, you got to eat at such and such place, and everyone knows the name of the person who runs it, and they're friends with everybody, and it's a place for like. What I really wanted which is why I'm glad we ended up with this. It's just a place for like the PCs to hang out.
At the ramen shop? That'd be dope. Nice. At the end of like every mission, they're like, yes, time to celebrate. Get a nice bowl of ramen.
And if anything should happen to whoever owns that shop or that restaurant, there will be hell to pay.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have like plenty of like places to make a bunch of cool characters about. I mean, I like the open air shop. I like the visual of it being like a big ring, so it's like, you know, it's really just this one section that you can just walk around. I like the idea of this like space orbital tether. It means something that is both very vital to the people involved because like, and like very sabotageable. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you know, violence can be happened here and you have to stop it or else, you know, the whole space habitat gets destroyed. But also like this cool construction zone that's actually like the whole space tether or whatever.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think it's a cool idea. Like it's processing stuff as it goes up. That's really fun.
Yeah, and the cool sports could be an avenue for characters to join in because maybe they're famous for like the local maximum ball, and they're like then they became a Lancers because of something else that happens. And like the I like the addition of our Union outpost as well. I mean, to be fair, all this stuff doesn't have to actually even be in this one place, but I do like it just being here. And then there's just like a blink gate. Yeah, you know, I still don't know if blink gates are supposed to be like populated stations or they're just like big pieces of machinery. Although to be fair, I think if it's a big piece of machinery, adding like a couple of hab blocks and like a plaza probably makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't recall exactly how Blinkies are supposed to be constructed or whatever story thing there is to them. It's probably something I could go read eventually while we're actually planning this out. We could figure out how, like, accurate it has to be to world building. But at the same time, like, if it's fun, just go with it. I think a lot of this is pretty fun. We totally forgot. We have an inhabited moon that I think we just forgot about.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. You can just grab a bunch of locations from this inhabited moon. We could do this again for all the cool spots in the planet, right? So
yeah. This was really fun though. I have written everything down, so maybe I'll put out some notes in the description of the video if you guys want to check that out.
Yeah, or maybe if you guys want to tell us what's in the inhabited moon,
yeah, perfect.
That would be pretty cool if you guys could do that in the comments, and yeah, we'll see what you guys come up with maybe, and it'll be kind of fun to kind of share and riff on each other. So
yeah. Because once again we do have a couple more copies of Pierce the Heavens that we can give away, so just drop a comment below about what you think would be in this random inhabited moon that's in these rings surrounding this gas giant. Is it close to the station or the Icy World that we already have? Is it close to the Blink Gate, or is it maybe closer to the center? Yeah,
and if you guys find that these tables useful, let us know too, because like I think they're really good. I know it's just a bunch of keywords in a table format, but I think it's super useful. Like we said at the tip of just getting an idea and rolling with it, and then building out your campaign or mission or anything from just a couple of keywords. You can have a pretty vibrant world that feels pretty unique.
Exactly. Like we just, with a few random things, we have this whole space here, and again, it's influenced by other things we've played or watched or whatever. Yeah, this is just what a way to bring the whole episode around. This is just an example of world building you can do pretty easily if you just have a few tables and steal from Mass Effect.
That is exactly right. You can steal a lot from Mass Effect.
Okay, well, anything else we want to say about this before we roll into the actual outro? I might work on some names of things, but I'll see. I don't want to name too many things. I want to leave the moon open for comments to say something.
Fair. I would like to say that if you go and open up your game of Mass Effect 2 and just kind of fly around to the different planets and actually read the description of the planets, some of them are kind of crazy. And they're really cool. There's one that I never will forget. It was just a Jupiter moon. Jupiter moon. It's a gas giant, right? And there are these dead alien caskets, right, that some long dead alien race just left, and they're because it's a gas giant, they have these flotation devices attached to these caskets as a memorial thing, so they'll forever float in the clouds as they die. And I was like, yo, That is so
Whoa.
crazy. Like, you could have a whole campaign based around these like caskets, and maybe they're like bigger than just like just like a one alien thing. Maybe it's like a whole like tomb, but they're like these floating tombs.
Oh, floating. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be. I'm just putting that in the notes now. That's gonna be.
Oh,
here.
the floating tombs could be the reason why they're there for the secret library. Just all the stuff maybe that has like the locations of the floating tombs. Maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah, and the people in the floating tombs are the ones who originally built this self-constructing city that consumes from this icy world, which probably wasn't even icy when they were around.
Oh, damn. All right, you go, folks. All right, that's it.
Yeah, if we don't
Be here all
stop, we're
day,
gonna
I
keep
guess.
going.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole Mass Effect by the end of this. We keep going.
I mean, what is a blink gate if not? Okay, no, I'm not gonna start that controversy now.
Funny.
All right, well, again, we recommend checking out these tables, or you just using tables for world building, because it can give you some ideas you might not have thought of. It can give you some things to look at and work with, and they're also really fun. Also, I guess let's just roll into the outro of the show, because if you like Lancer, we've got a whole bunch of Lancer stuff in the description of this video. A bunch of different things written by people, so there's all sorts of adventures and stuff for you to check out. All sorts of supplements you can add to your game to add new mechs, stories, settings, whatever. If you don't want to make your own. As well, I gotta make sure I give my... Oh, also, don't forget to check out Shaka's series, new Lancer stream series, Plymouth Rock. But I do have to make sure I give a shout out to the Untold Stories project, where I'm at on Mondays and Tuesdays. They've got a whole bunch of one-shots coming up on Wednesdays this month. A lot of Halloween-y stuff that I'm in a few of. So if you want to check that out, be sure to do that. Additionally, because we talked about Mass Effect a lot, that will be coming back at the end of this month. But during October, Sundays will be Dead Space on the stream. So if you want to see me be scared in space, come.
You watch that? You play that spooky ass game? I hate that game.
It's the only horror game I have, and it fits because the Sunday time slot's been like sci-fi stuff so far.
Oh my god. All right, good luck to you, Calvin.
Oh, no.
I will not be joining that stream. I hate that game.
Well, it's a lot to look forward to then.
It's too wet. It's such a wet and goopy game. I'm not about it, man.
I have no idea what I'm walking into, but I'm very excited for it. So definitely, if you have the stomach for it, check that out. Otherwise, I think that's all we have to say for now. Ramon, anything else before we head off?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, for all our goopy GMs and players out there, just remember to keep on winning with dice, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.